The protest continues. Right now there's music on the stage behind me on Independence Square. The three main sites here in Kiev city centre of the protest were not taken by the police. The stage, the headquarters in the Trades Union building, and of course the City Hall, which is occupied by demonstrators, though I believe there are rather fewer demonstrators in there now than there were. Nevertheless, the opposition clearly views this as a great success. When the last police officers were leaving in their buses earlier, demonstrators were cheering and waving. They were even cheering the police officers because the protesters have taken the attitude of trying to be as nice as possible to these police officers who are attacking them and reminding them constantly that they are also Ukrainian citizens and that this protest is for all Ukrainian citizens, and trying to persuade the police and the special forces troops to come over to their side. That hasn't worked exactly so far, but it has certainly contributed to the protesters' success in maintaining the entirely peaceful character of this action from their point of view. As soon as any suggestion of violence coming from the protesters' side happens, it's very, very quickly apprehended by the security operation that the protesters have organised within their own ranks. They're very, very, very vigilant to avoid provocations.
Gulliver, what's the real level of support for these protesters, not just there in Kiev, but across the country?
Well, I have the impression that in Kiev, support for the protest movement is very widespread and probably getting more so. In fact, the more there are brutal or forceful police interventions, the more people tend to support it. In fact, 70% of people in one survey I read said that they thought that standing up to standing up to the use of force by police was now the #1 reason for protesting, behind the desire to campaign for European integration. But outside of Kiev, it is a bit of a different story, certainly in the east and south of the country. There's one poll that's been conducted by a think tank that's normally considered close to the government, and even this think tank says that half, at least, of Ukrainians fully support the protest movement, but somewhat less than half are, according to this poll, against it, and they're mostly located in the east and south of the country, where people don't necessarily have wholehearted support for Viktor Yanukovych, but they don't like the opposition leaders very much either.